Hello, 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 my beautiful peaches. Happy Thursday. Hopefully, you are having a great day so far. I know I probably look like somebody's grandma right now, but I wanted to be comfy. Yeah, I got sick this morning to my stomach. Why? I have no idea. And that took a lot out of me. And so I really didn't feel like putting makeup on. And I really didn't feel like changing out of my muumuu, so I kept it on. Hopefully I don't mind. I won't be playing any games today. Probably listen to some spooky stories or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we get into. But before that, we'll play our daily bundle and our daily spell check. But yeah, this is usually what I look like when I go to sleep. Well, I usually have like a pink bonnet on my head, but I took that off for stream. But I kept my hair in 2 French braids. That's how I like to put it up inside the bonnet before I go to sleep. Hi, baby. Come on. Come on. There you go. Hi. Oh, careful. Hi. Yeah, I have to get my dog to come over here and hang out with me. That way she doesn't freak out by being by herself. Thankfully, well, I haven't told y'all yet, but on Tuesday, the reason why I didn't stream was because my other dog, my big white dog, she had dental surgery that day, and I was waiting for them to call me. It took a while to call me back. They called me like around 3 something, and I was ready to get her back. Like I had dropped her off like at 9 that morning, and so when they called me, I was like, let me go get her so she can be back home with us. Thankfully she's doing good. They took out quite a bit of teeth, but I learned all the necessary tools that is needed to keep her teeth nice and safe, so that way that doesn't happen anymore. She does look like the teeth that they did take out feel better. They do look like, she does look like she's a little bit more comfortable now without those teeth. She did have an infection, so they gave her antibiotics, and yeah, her mouth is no longer smells or anything like that. The advice that the vet gave me was the best thing for the teeth for tartar buildup, because that's what she had. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Is adding a water additive to their water bowl, and then getting tooth wipes, not using toothbrushes, tooth wipes. Those are the best ones to use, and that'll help get all that build up off their teeth. But yeah, thankfully she hasn't been in any pain. Like, she hasn't shown the signs of being in pain. She has shown signs of being over it. Like, so over it. They gave her a shot of pain pills that last 3 days. So she's been kind of in and out of it. She doesn't like that. She's never liked that feeling, ever. Like when we give her calming stuff, she knows that we've, in her sense, poisoned her when we've given her calming medicine. So I would, you know, say like, son of a cracker or son of a biscuit, things like that. And so when I would get extra tired, that's when I would start using those a bit more. And my coworkers would make so much fun of me. So much fun of me. But I don't know. I liked it though because it would make them laugh. I love making other people laugh. I still have my nails on. This is probably the longest they have lasted me, and I'm so excited about that. I'm so happy. But I need to do them before we go out of town because we are going out of town next week to go back home to visit family. So I won't be streaming next Thursday. I will stream Tuesday, but not next Thursday. So sorry about that. But yeah, we're gonna go back home and visit family so we could get that out of the way, so that way we can have the holidays to ourselves. Which I so want. I so want. I'm excited about that. Alright, Mr. Kenny, I'm gonna have to pause you there because it is time for me to get started into my daily bundle. And so we could do our daily spell check, and then that way we could get into some spooky stories. Luna, are you okay, honey? You okay? Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Good girl. Lay down right there. Yeah, their bed is underneath my desk. I am never gonna force them to be over there. I've tried, honestly. I've tried to move them away from my desk. Like, they were, like, across the way over there. But they would sneak over here. And I don't want to wheel over their little feet. I don't want to hurt them in any kind of way. So I found a better spot underneath my desk. And they love being right there. They're not in the way where like I can accidentally kick them or whatever. Like there's still enough space. But if I put them over here, they will feel like they're too far away from me. So right there. And when I had them over there, like I said, they would sneak over here and be under my feet, slipping and sliding because of the floor. As you can see, we don't have any carpet. I only have the rug right here. I don't have anything else like right there. So they're right there. Okay. Let's see what they give us. Oh no, it says it's very hard. Released in 2011. I just have to say, if you hear me burp, I'm sorry. And excuse me in advance. Anyways, so released in 2011. YouTube views 368 million. Difficulty very hard. Not just hard, very. So we're probably not gonna get this, so let's see. I don't know, it kind of sounds familiar, but I'm not getting the song in my head yet. Alright, let's go to the next one. Hold on. No, I know it's one of her, or is it one of her songs? Oh yeah. The dancing in the hold on. Oh no. There we go. Okay, what was I thinking? It was Katy Perry. It was Jessie J. Dang it. I love that song. And if you haven't heard of it, let me go ahead and play it for you. Baby, come on. As you can see, I wrote dancing in the, I was typing dancing in the moonlight, but it's like, no, that wasn't the name of the song. And that wasn't Katy Perry. Alright, there is that song. It's a good song. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of those songs that kind of just make you start dancing, at least for me. At least for me. Alright, now to make a fool of myself, time for a daily spell check.
Embers, a noun meaning a glowing fragment as of coal from a fire. Groats, a noun meaning hulled grain broken into fragments larger than grits. Grotus is Old English for particle, derived from Germanic term for to grind. Groats, a noun. Basement, a noun meaning the part of a building that is wholly or partly below ground level. Standoff, a noun meaning tie, deadlock. Standoff, a noun meaning tie, deadlock.
At least today I can
Standoff,
understand
a
her
noun meaning
better.
tie, debunk, a verb meaning to expose the sham or falseness of. Debunk, a verb. Grotesqueness, an adjective meaning of relating to or having the characteristics of the grotesque, such as see originates from Old English seon, meaning to perceive or look at. Grotesqueness, an adjective meaning of relating to or having the characteristics of the grotesque, such as see originates from Old English seon, meaning to perceive or look at. Grotesqueness, an adjective meaning of relating to or having the characteristics of the grotesque, such as see originates from Old English. Grotesqueness,
Yeah, I have no idea.
trifle, a noun meaning something of little value, substance, or importance. Telescope, a noun meaning a usually tubular optical instrument for viewing distant objects.
Yeah, it would have been bad if I got that one wrong.
Dissemble, a verb meaning to hide under a false appearance. Dissemble comes from Middle English, reshaped from dissimulate. Nouveau, an adjective meaning newly arrived or developed. New traces back to Latin novellus, for young or tender via Old and Middle French. Nouveau, a
Nope.
refectory, a noun meaning a dining hall, as in a monastery or college. Refectory comes from Middle English, borrowed from Anglo-French, originally. Broom, a noun meaning mist, fog. Bruma is French for mist, derived from Latin for winter solstice, winter. Broom, a noun meaning mist, fog. Bruma is French for mist, derived erythroblast, a noun meaning a polychromatic nucleated cell of red bone marrow that synthesizes hemoglobin, and that is an intermediate in the initial stage of red blood cell formation. Broadly, a cell ancestral to red blood cells. The term originates from globally recognized erythroblast, a noun meaning a polychromatic nucleated cell of red.
No.
Prestidigitation, a noun meaning sleight of hand, legerdemain. Prestidigitator is from French, combining Italian presto,
Whoa.
prestidigitation. Prestidigitation. Prestidigitation.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Sojourner, a verb meaning to stay as a temporary resident. Stop. From Middle English, sojourner, a verb meaning to stay as a temporary resident. Stop. From Middle English, borrowed from English.
Alright, let's see. Oh, it was with an I. Duh. Okay. Only one F. Grotesqueness. Okay. Oh, E. That is a word. That is a word. Okay. Well, done making a fool out of myself. Okay, so like I said, we were gonna listen to some spooky stories, and my husband mentioned this No Sleep from Reddit, and then we went on YouTube and saw that these have been turned into stories on YouTube. So I decided, well, why not pick one? So we are going to pick one. Let's see. We shall do this one just because I live in Arkansas. I scare myself a little bit, you know? Why not? So grab your comfy blankie, your snacks, all that, and let's get started.
To those who sleep. This happened a few years ago. You may have heard rumors if you're on campus. Some even circulated online. Nobody knew what really happened because I'm the only one who knows. And I kept quiet for a multitude of reasons. None of them matter now. Here's what really happened. The four of us were handpicked for this experiment by Professor Richardson because we'd all studied under him, worked under him, and, as much as anyone can, earned his confidence. He said this one was different. We had to keep quiet. He wanted to keep details to a minimum. All he would tell us before going in was that he required a month of our lives, and that if he succeeded, sleep would never again be a necessity.
Think about it, he said. 6 to 8 additional hours every day. Your month will be paid back before the year is out.
If he was right, we'd have a Nobel Prize for sure. It would change the world. We believed in him. Sleep would become a hobby. Imagine that. We felt lucky to be a part of it. We went in with the highest of hopes. We were so excited for a new future for humanity and for ourselves. I was the only one to leave that place. Week 1. Professor Richardson brought us out to the location in his van, explaining along the way what we were to do. For the purpose of the study, we were asked to remain in the compound, as he called it. We would be locked in fact, and deprived of windows and Wi-Fi. Other than endure patiently, we didn't have to do much of anything.
My machine does all the work, he explained. It uses a complex melange of sound waves to disrupt the processes of sleep, evolutionary appendices from the days before civilization.
The most immediate side effect you'll notice is that you won't dream. Any other effects we noticed, we were to catalog. We were, as he said, in uncharted territory, and so we had to map out the dangers. The immensity of the project was inspiring enough. Then we saw the compound, the Octagon, as it was known. A concrete octagonal structure built at the end of a labyrinth of dirt roads somewhere in the backwoods of Searcy, Arkansas. I've never been able to find it again. The professor said it was originally intended as a jail for terrorists, but it was abandoned and never used. It's virtually impenetrable, invisible to satellites, but for us, it had been stocked with all the comforts we'd require for a month of dedication. I don't know if any of us expected to really conquer sleep. We thought, perhaps, a reduction in sleep requirements could be possible. We spent a fair amount of the first 2 days speculating on how the machine works with its complex melange of sound waves, and whether sleep really is an evolutionary appendix, as the professor had claimed. By the third day of only getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep, contrary to feeling groggy, we were more awake and full of energy than ever. We were alert and ready to debate these ideas. That's when the excitement really hit us.
He really did it,
JT said. JT was a big, ginger-bearded guy, the sort of guy who still has a healthy collection of magic cards.
Oh, we don't know that,
James said, always the skeptic.
The machine could be stimulating the adrenal glands to mildly dose us with adrenaline all throughout the day. Even if that were so, wouldn't change the fact that he beat sleep.
With our extra time, we were getting in tons of reading, played a stupid amount of Call of Duty, and still had plenty of time to sit around and debate.
I guess I have to admit, it's amazing,
James said. We all felt it. It was almost euphoric, the excitement we felt for being possibly the first humans to live without the need for sleep.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine going without sleep, like wanting to go without sleep, because I like sleeping. Even though I have trouble sleeping, I couldn't imagine wanting to go without sleep. Like, I get being able to have time to do more stuff because of not sleeping, but I don't know, that's just weird to me. I don't know about how y'all feel about that. That's how I feel.
Technically, we still needed a few hours each night, but we decided together that it was more out of habitat than necessity. Then, on the 4th day, Dawn said,
"There's something wrong."
Dawn was a serious one, superstitious. He used to be a Franciscan, I'd heard. It showed. He didn't talk that much, and when he did, it was usually worth listening to. This time, he put into words something I'd been feeling, but I guess kinda just buried under the excitement.
With the experiment, or?
JT asked.
I don't know,
He said.
It's a feeling. This constant uneasiness, like this isn't going the way it's supposed to be going, or that we're in the wrong place.
No, James said. I think that's it. It's this place. We all knew it was weird when we first saw it, this concrete octagon, but living in it, I think there's something wrong with this place. Like something terrible happened here. I understood it was never used, I said. Governments always say that about torture prisons.
It's more than that,
JT said.
I feel it too. I thought it was just from lacking windows at first, but that's not it. I think it's the angles. The angles in this building don't add up to what they should.
What if everyone's dead outside? Dawn asked. James jumped up so fast, his chair clattered to the ground.
Cut that shit out, Dawn. Why would you even say that?
Well, what are you saying? I asked. This is a haunted octagon?
Yeah, James,
JT said.
Was it built on an octagonal Indian burial ground?
Okay, you want to play that? He said.
I can play. Look, the space around us transforms based on how we perceive it. Take a church. The people who go there perceive it as holy, so they do things, like leave their crutches behind when they force themselves to walk, or light their candles, or whatever. These changes to the space only enhance the perception of holiness and influence future visitors to perceive it in the same way and change it in the same way. Haunted places are the same. For one reason or another, they begin to be perceived as haunted. The more they're perceived that way, the more they're imbued with the hauntedness. Even if you've never seen the place before, you pick up on the subtle clues if you're at all sensitive. In a way, it's true to say it's a haunted space. It's true to say the church is holy. Our interaction with the space has made it something more than just wood and sheetrock or whatever. So, what I'm saying is, maybe some things happened here, and we're picking up on it. Some really awful things. And in that sense, yes, it's a haunted octagon. No, Don said. Places are considered holy because an authority telegraphs it to whoever will listen, just like haunted places make a lot of money off dumb tourists. Whatever it is, I said, we all agree something isn't feeling right about our situation. Maybe it's the machine. I say we write it down as a side effect. On that point, at least, we were all able to agree. It didn't put any of our uneasiness at rest, but we wrote it down. We somehow agreed upon the phrasing right away, too. Acute sensations that we've entered into something where we aren't welcome. Week 2. We tried our best to ignore these feelings and carry on like we had been. Those first few days had been some of the best in our adult lives, but we never got back to those happy times. I realized around then how short-sighted of Richardson it had been to leave us there without any means of contacting the outside world. When I voiced that opinion, "That's what I've been thinking," JT said. "Richardson isn't a dumb guy, you get me? I think he did this on purpose." "Why would he do that?" I asked. "For science, of course," he answered. "It's one of those meta-studies where we're told it's about one thing, but it's actually about how we react to the experiment, like the Milgram experiments." "Or it's not his choice," James said. "The government is making him do it, and that machine is designed to control us, or some sort of cult. Scientologists." "This is a government-built installation," JT said. "That actually makes sense. Not the Scientology part, though." "Think about it," James started, but I interrupted. Okay, I said. "Let's come back down to earth for a second. Best case scenario, Richardson is just a jerk who doesn't care about our personal well-being, right?" "Give it a rest," Don said, the one I least expected to snap at me. "Stop trying to act like the most rational guy in the room. You don't know what Richardson's into. He's into other things he'll never talk about publicly." I looked at the others and saw similar confusion.
Like what?
"What are you talking about?" "I've heard a little bit about this, actually," James said. "He has some fringe ideas. Let's just say he's not the respectable academic he presents himself to be," Don said. "I've read some of the content he doesn't publish. He thinks and very seriously believes that there's something else, something besides this." He knocked on the table. "Something more than material
That scared
stuff."
me.
"That's not completely strange," I said with a shrug. I was expecting worse. "He put it this way," Don continued, ignoring me. "Think back to the beginning of existence. There had to be conditions such that the universe's existence was possible. If the universe wasn't possible, then it couldn't have come to exist. Does that stand to reason?" We nodded. "Okay. And those conditions cannot be material nor laws of matter, since those came into being with the existence of the universe. So whatever those conditions are, they have to be something other than the basic substance of the universe. Does that make sense?" "I guess," I said. "This isn't turning into an argument for God, is it?" He shook his head. "It's an argument for something that continues to exist. Except we can't even say that, because ideas like something and exist are developed by, for, and within physical reality. This is something pre-physical, something pre-existence. Whatever it is allowed the universe to spontaneously be. Who knows what else it's been doing these billions of years? Just asking that question is already violating the stipulations," I started saying, my background in philosophy kicking in. Yes, Don said. "But he believes. He thinks it's the source of free will. Our brains touch it somehow, and so he believes he can reach it, study it, use it. I didn't get to read much more than that." "And if this experiment is something he's not putting on the books," James added, "it may have to do with his more peculiar interests. So instead of eliminating sleep, he's trying to make us see God?" I asked sarcastically. "I don't know, brother."
Don said, I'm just saying, if he thinks the brain touches another reality, this is just the kind of experiment he'd want to try to prove his theory. Do you think he has the room bugged? JT asked. I think he might be in here somewhere, I said without even thinking of what I was saying. They looked to me, waiting for an explanation, and with what looked like fear in their eyes. Strange we should be afraid of this man we admired less than 2 weeks ago. I sometimes feel someone watching me sleep, I explained, my voice starting to tremble. I figured it was one of you at first. I feel it specifically when I'm not quite awake, but not quite asleep. Those moments when you wake for a few seconds to adjust your pillow. I could feel and see and hear someone standing over me, just breathing and watching. And I was too close to unconsciousness to do anything about it. Then I just fell back to sleep. I could see the terror filling the other's eyes while I spoke. I've been feeling it too, Don said, almost in a whisper, like he was scared to be heard. I thought I was losing it. Me too, James said. Someone else is in here, I said. We drew closer together, our eyes darting nervously around the gray concrete room. We were all feeling the same thing, I'm sure, that we were trapped inside this horrible building with someone or something else. Wait, JT said. What would this person be eating? We don't see our food disappearing, then there's no way out. There isn't really anywhere to hide. We gotta start being sensible. I let out a sigh of relief because he was right. Okay, let's think about this, I said. Let's say this is another effect of the machine. Phase 2, paranoia. Phase 2, paranoia, Don said with a consenting nod. We wrote it down. The next day, when we all gathered together for breakfast, JT asked, have all of you had any dreams? We all shook our heads. Richardson was right on the money with that one, I said. Do you know feral children don't dream? How do we know that? James asked. They tell us. The few that get socialized. They say dreaming is something that starts only after, when they have language, object permanence, and all that stuff. Well, what about dogs? I asked. Like chasing rabbits in their sleep. Automatic responses. Maybe language and object permanence only impacts the ability to remember dreams, James said. Both are consistent with superficial data. The onus is on you to prove otherwise. JT scoffed. What's your point anyway? Don asked. The point is being dreamless. I don't think it's healthy. I think the machine isn't making us not need sleep. It's making us not feel tired. I think all of this might be happening because we aren't dreaming. We can't really answer, can we? James said. Dreams naturally accompany REM sleep, so we don't have any studies that differentiate between the effects of not dreaming and of not sleeping. Or maybe we are dreaming, and the dreams are just going somewhere else, JT said. I didn't know what he meant by that. Nobody did, but we all stopped talking then and dispersed. Something about it felt too true. Week 3. Our gatherings for theoretical discussions became rarer and rarer. We tended to isolate ourselves and eyed each other with suspicion. I still had those feelings of uneasiness and of unwelcomeness every day. And each night, the figure standing over me. I was sleeping even less now, about an hour tops. So little sleep that I'd started to catch it running away. The last time, I was awake enough to see where it was going. It's this one particular corner of my room that's always struck me as peculiar. I caught myself staring at it even when I didn't want to. It's a point where the angles are strange. My eyes had trouble focusing on it. The figure skulked straight to that point and disappeared into it. When I woke up fully, I questioned whether I had hallucinated the whole thing. Perhaps phase 3, hallucinations. I went over to that corner and looked at it closely. It smelled strange, like turpentine. Then, the more I stared at it, the more I forced my eyes to focus. I was sure something was moving inside, and it was watching me. I heard this awful, hate-filled sound come from deep in the corner then. I didn't wait around to understand what made that noise. I left that room for good. I took all of my short naps in the library from then on. While lying in the library, I overheard JT talking to someone in the corridor. He was telling him about the angles again. He said there are more degrees in the building than can possibly be in a standard enclosed shape. 2.7488 degrees more. Just enough to drive you nuts, but not enough to be obvious, he said. Whoever he was talking to said something I didn't understand. Something like,
"Those are the degrees of ripping."
The voice was distorted somehow, so I can't be sure. What I was sure of was I didn't recognize that voice at all. Whoever JT was talking to wasn't one of us. Maybe silly, but I was scared. I stayed there, pretending to be asleep while JT walked by. And as he did, I felt someone or something come into the room and stand over me. Then, it went away. After a minute or so of telling myself I was being foolish, I went following after JT. I didn't see him anywhere. I bumped into James, and he said he also hadn't seen JT. "Have you seen or heard anyone who shouldn't be in here?" I asked him. James looked at me with a mixture of surprise and terror. "How do you know?" he asked. I haven't told anyone." "About what?" He told me he'd heard his mother calling to him. Not a faint sound that he was confused for his mother, but her voice, clear as mine, calling out to him. He almost answered her, he said. Almost. Then he stopped himself. "She's been dead for years, man," he said. "Whatever was calling me, it wasn't my mother." I saw he was shaking and his hands were clenched. I told him to hang in there. It might be aural hallucinations. I'd been hearing things too. A crying child, so low at first I thought it was plumbing. "We should have a meeting," he said. I thought about JT and what I'd heard moments ago. "Let's just tell Dawn," I said. "As a side effect of the machine, it makes sense," Dawn said after we told him. "The sounds are not supposed to be audible, yet somehow our brains must be picking up their random patterns and interpreting them as something. The brain assigns a memory to make the pattern meaningful." "Do you believe that?" I asked. "Not for a second," James said. But we had a shortage of rational explanations, and that was a pretty good one. I'd hoped he was right. A few days later, I found James in the gym, pounding away at a punching bag. I asked him if he was doing okay. He ignored me. So I went back to the reading room. A few minutes later, he was behind me. "That voice I've been hearing is not my mother," he said. "Of course not," I said. We'd already decided that after all. "No, I mean, I don't know what I mean. It's just, my mother was a kind person. Even if this voice was trying to sound like her, it's not like her at all. It's not kind. It's not human." I put down my book and looked him full on to see if he was serious. He was. Very much so. "She's been telling me about all sorts of things," he said. "She asked me if you remember the shed." I couldn't say anything to that. I was speechless. I never talked about that, for good reason. Took me years to come to terms with what happened. It was a long time ago. I was out playing behind our house in the woods, as I often did. I liked to construct shitty tree houses. I went a little off property and came to this shed. I'd never seen it before. It looked old, though. I remember that. I heard a kid crying inside. Thinking I might have a friend to make tree houses with, I looked through the window. The kid was all chained up, and there was a dog bowl on the floor. I wanted to help, but I knew I was trespassing. I looked around. That's when I saw this man off about 20 feet into the woods. He was dressed in all black, old-fashioned clothes, like 19th century clothes. He had to have been watching me the whole time, expressionless. I went running all the way home. I was so scared, I didn't tell my parents about it until I was supposed to go to bed, and I had to explain why I was terrified to go to sleep. They had the cops out right away. They found the shed. I heard they found the chains and bowl, but the kid was gone. I've always blamed myself for not helping the kid right away. "Do you?" James asked. Yes. "Okay, well, she's been telling me how to get out." I looked at him without a word because he sounded so manic. "She said there's a secret exit inside JT. We just have to cut him open to get out." "James," I said, unsure what else to say at that point. Oh, I know, he said with a gulp. I know it's not true. I just had to tell someone. I don't know what's going on in this place, he added. I'm scared, man. So was I. We had to get out of that octagon. Week 4. James and I started looking for ways out after that. Since we weren't sleeping at all now, we had plenty of time to do it. Every time we thought we found something, it was a dead end. It was while we were doing this that we saw Don standing alone in the corridor with his back to us. What's going on? James asked. Something about it just seemed strange. Don, you okay? I called. He turned around and with a smile gave us a big wave. Bye, guys, he said and walked around the corner. I looked at James to see if he was thinking the same thing as me, that something bad was about to happen, and he was already looking back at me. We took running after him. He was at the end of the next corridor already, getting in the elevator. Don, no! We shouted and ran after him, but the doors closed before we got there. He went up. The thing is, the Octagon is a one-floor building. There's no elevator, never before or after. I don't know where Don went or if what I think I saw really happened, but I know I never saw Don again. I don't understand, James said. What's happening? Before we could take time to think about it, a group of people rounded the corner and were walking toward us. I think we should go, I said. Who are they? He asked. James, let's go, I said. Why are they blurry? I don't know, but we're going. I grabbed his arm and pulled him with me. Then I ran. I ran until I got back to the kitchen and hid myself between the wall and the fridge. I was sure James was right behind me. I could hear his footfall the whole way, but when I looked, he was gone. I stayed there until my body couldn't really take it anymore, probably a few hours. When I slipped out, I saw someone peering at me from around the doorway. I was so startled, I backed up against the wall. It was a little boy. Hello? I said. Then I heard screams. The boy was gone. More screams. I couldn't just leave someone in distress. Not again. I ran toward the screams, scared of what might be happening to James. I heard a scream again, but this one choked out. It was coming from JT's room. I wished then, and still wished I hadn't opened that door. James was in there. He'd sliced JT open, and he was feeling around in his guts. The shocked, agonized expression was frozen on JT's face. What did you do? I said. I have to get out, James said as he dug through JT's intestines. I backed out of the room. I didn't know what else to do. I just had to find somewhere to hide until Richardson could get us out of there. Once I was out of the room, I heard James saying, Mom? And then, oh no, oh no! And then he screamed. I ran back in. James was gone. The doorway to the room hadn't left my sight. There's no way he got out, but he was gone. And noxious black smoke was coming from JT's abdomen. It smelled like burning tires. I went back to the kitchen. I found a supply of candles, melted some wax onto paper towels, and stuffed my ears with it. Then I curled up in a corner with my eyes closed and waited for sleep to come. I waited a long time, but eventually it came. When I woke up, Professor Richardson was shaking me. He'd already pulled the paper towels out of my ears. I thought he'd come early. I found out later I'd been asleep for several days. He asked me where the others went. I told him everything, as much as I understood. I tried to take him to JT's body, but it was gone. Not a trace of blood. He took me to a hospital after that to make sure I was okay. I'll foot the bill, he said. Also, you can forget about your student loans. Is that how it is? I asked. I put you in danger, so yes, you've earned it, if you keep quiet. I told him I couldn't keep quiet because of what happened to the others. You don't think those things really happened, do you? Would all the laws of the physical universe suspend themselves just for you four? No, those were waking dreams. You weren't supposed to dream at all. I thought I'd compensated for it. The machine needs tweaking. That's science. The others are fine. They'll all be laying low for a while until I publish the results. Please do the same.
Laying low.
I wanted to believe him. I've always considered myself a rational person. I just didn't believe him. Yes, it all could have been a dream. That was the simplest explanation, but it was no dream. I tried to find the others. I never could. I don't think they're fine at all. I tried to tell the police about it, but they wanted evidence. I couldn't even show them the octagon. James, JT, Dawn, if you're out there and hear this, please let me know you're okay. And everyone else, let me tell you what I think. I think Professor Richardson was right about one thing. Sleep really is something we evolved to protect us, except not from the creatures that roam the forest at night. It protects us from something much worse, something all around us. It's not obsolete at all. Thank whatever you believe in that you have sleep, and you dream.
Well, that was interesting.
A fun little fact for any of you that are still here. The dark somnium means the dark dream. Somnium is Latin for dream. I figured it would be a nice little thing to throw in here since, this whole story was about dreaming.
I like the different voices and like the little different sound effects that they had. That was pretty neat.
Just look over your shoulders, honey. Yeah, I know. It's been a minute.
Playing the dang songs that my husband's been sending me. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying that's. I'm just laughing because of that. But yeah, probably in the next scary story that we look into, we'll probably do like a video with visuals and stuff like that. I wanted to give it a try and see how it went with just them telling the story. Honestly, it's not that bad. But I think it's better for us to have like something to see, at least for me, so I don't fall asleep. But the story was very good, so it had me entertained, and the sound effects and stuff like that, like especially the knocking, that kind of scared me. I was like, wait, is somebody knocking here? Oh man, probably here after stream, I'll probably just go back and lay on the couch for a little bit, who knows. Then here later, I'm gonna make some arepas. There are these, I guess the best way to explain it if you don't know what arepas are is just like a meat pocket with cheese. So like I will get it's like I think they call it like white cornmeal or no, yellow cornmeal, something like that. I have a video on my YouTube channel where I made this, so if you want to take a look, go check it out over there. But yeah, it's this yellow cornmeal with water and melted butter and cheese. Mix that all together and then let it be for just a little bit, and then get little pockets of it, roll it up, and then make a little bowl or whatever you want to call it, or little pocket in there, and put some meat. Or you can put some more cheese if you want to, and then close it up as if you're like making a dumpling almost, but you don't have to do the twisties. You just close it up, smush it down, and then fry it up, cook it up, whatever. It's pretty simple. I do usually get my husband's help with this because I am not good with a lot of grease, so I'm kind of scared. I'm cooking with a lot of grease, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen a lot of people get hurt, so yeah. But thankfully it goes by quickly with his help, and then we'll have some beans, and yeah, that'll be dinner tonight. And then tomorrow we usually eat out. We'll probably end up doing like KFC or something. We live in a kind of small town, and there's not very many options right now. A lot of places around us, like that's pretty close, and here there's a lot of different restaurants opening up. I think there's gonna be a Wingstop opening up closer because I think the closest one to us is about like 40 minutes away right now, and I think this new one will be closer. So I am very excited about that, and I want them to open up soon so I can get some Wingstop. Like right now. I mean, we get wings from like the pizza places like Domino's and stuff like that, and their wings are not that bad. They're really not that bad. But I don't know, there's just something about Wingstop. Something about them that's just so good.
He can go all day.
We've had some other restaurants open kind of close to us, but why is it so expensive to eat at restaurants now? Like, why? Like, I know why, but you know, it just sucks. You know, like, I think it's been years since I've eaten at a Chili's, and I've seen videos where people eat those mozzarella things, and they look good. They look really good. And I'm like, hey, you know, I haven't been to a Chili's in a while. Let me just look up a Chili's website, and I'm just curious, how much are they? They're pretty expensive for just a fried cheese block, you know. They look good. And so I started looking up videos on how to make it at home. And honestly, it looks simple enough. So it's like, I'll just give it a try one of these days myself. Probably be cheaper than going to buy it over there. Now, I know they have like a dipper sample. I think it's like, what, like 2 little burger things, like White Castle sized burgers. And then like I think like 3 or 4 of those cheese dippers, and then I think sometimes you can either get like an egg roll or something else. I'm not 100% sure. Now that is a pretty good deal, but it's still pretty like expensive. So it's like, I can just make that at home. So we'll see if I end up doing that or not. Or if we just end up going over there so I can try it. I don't know. We'll see. Because I know that there's a chance that I may not even get a good cheese pull. And that's kind of what I want to do, is I want to get my own little cheese pull. But I don't want too much of a cheese pull, and I'm like, my hand's all the way back here and it's still in my mouth. I just want a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, I don't need a big old one. But yeah, we'll probably just end up doing KFC. I think they have like their honey barbecue thing going on. We'll see what we end up getting from there. Their chicken is so good. So good. At least for me, when we used to live in Texas, the chicken was good, but not this good here in Arkansas. Or at least the area that we live in. It's so juicy. So juicy. Oh my god. Like, I need it right now. But today's not to eat out. It's tomorrow. Tonight we eat arepas. And arepas are good. So I'm okay with that. Plus it's probably good that I don't eat KFC tonight. Just because with me getting sick this morning, it's probably not best to eat that tonight. I probably wouldn't be able to enjoy it. But yeah, here in a bit I'll probably, drink some more water. I'm starting to get a bit of a headache because I haven't drank enough water or replenished the water that I lost earlier. But yeah, I'm just gonna go and watch some crime documentaries. I think right now what I'm watching is on HBO Max. It's called Mean Girl Killing or something Mean Girls, and or Killer Mean Girls, yeah. And it's about these mean girls that they become murderers, and some of these are teenage girls, and it's like, man, I barely knew what I wanted to do as a teenager, and you're telling me you already had set in stone that you wanted to hurt somebody. It's just crazy. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. I was watching 911 calls of people that did it. Like the people that were calling 911 are the people that actually committed the crime. And I was watching that. Oh, my other jumping spider that I've had, well, I've had them both for a pretty good while, but the one that I've had since July, she has molted twice. And the second time I got to actually see her coming out of it. It was interesting. I was just like, what's going on in there? And then I handed the little enclosure to my husband. I was like, I think she's molting. And sure enough, I have her little dried up body that she threw out of her hammock over here behind me. She actually left the top of her head, and you can see where her eyes were. It's so weird. It's so weird, but I wanted to keep it last time. But when I went into the hospital for my surgery and came back out, she just like destroyed it. But this time she threw it out pretty quickly, and because there wasn't enough room in there for her and that thing. So as soon as she threw it out, I went in there with some tweezers and got it all out, and then I put it up there. But yeah, she molted again. I'm sure, or I'm not 100% sure, but I think her molting will slow down soon, because I know with her being a baby and eating and having a good environment to live in, they molt fairly quickly. But I know as they get older, it just slows or stops. So thankfully she's still a baby right now, so we'll see how the next molting goes, or how long it takes for the next one to go. But alright, my peaches, I will see y'all on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Central Time, or I may go live early, especially since I won't do a live next Thursday because we will be out of town. So I'll see y'all then. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. Thank y'all so much for the comments. Thank y'all so much for the follows. And I hope to see y'all again. I will stop talking y'all's ear off. I'm sure y'all had enough with just this story. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. We'll do something else, something spooky, because it is spooky month, or we'll play some games. I don't know. We'll see. But alright, my peaches. See y'all later. Bye.